Let's have a step-by-step look at hout. First thing that you'll notice is that 3 AEP files come with the package. First is a clean setup if you want to start editing your own show from scratch. Next, you have 2 sample edits for 15 and 30 photos. The reason behind the project being separated into individual files rather than having various compositions within a single project is the way all the bells and whistles are controlled. There is a single almighty composition called Control, which contains a layer, a handy preset sheet, more on that later, to which all the expression-driven features across the whole project are linked. If you want to jump straight into dropping your photos or videos into the frames, you would want to open one of the 2 ready-made edits, 15 photo or 30 photo set. They are edited with specific music tracks in mind, and those are Be Fun by Pink Zebra for the 15 photo edit and The Dream also by Pink Zebra for the 30 photo one. The links to those are provided in the description section on the VideoHive page for this template. As the hout edits are shorter than the music tracks, I just used slow volume fade out at the end. So my advice is to make a copy of the hout edit of your choosing and work on that. Main composition will open and you will notice that the entire composition's length consists of pre-comps. Those contain, among other things, placeholders for pictures. While the single frame shots contain, well, a single picture and are named accordingly, you can easily find the corresponding pre-comp in the placeholders folder. For example, this shot is called B03, so the B03 pre-comp in the placeholders folder will affect the contents. Passages, pre-comps prefixed with the letter E, more on that in a moment, contain 2 pictures and openers and closers, a whole bunch. To see which you need to place your content into, you will get into the pre-comp and see which pictures are used. Once you are within a picture placeholder pre-comp, you will see 6 layers of EPS files, and then the actual picture. You will want to place your content below the EPS layers. These are a set of passepartouts which are controlled through the master layer. We will go over the control layer in detail later. Now we are jump starting with the ready-made stuff. So you want your picture or video below the passepartouts. The pre-comp is sized to fit its place, so it also serves as cropping tool. What you see in this pre-comp will be visible in the frame in the final render. And that's basically it. Once you're done replacing the content and placeholders, you're ready to render. Now let's get a bit more detailed look into hout. The project panel shows how the assets are grouped. First, we have the Under the Hood section, which contains all the source renders and the preset sheet Illustrator file. No alterations are necessary here. In fact, these files should remain as they are in order for the whole thing to function as intended. Next, there are 6 folders with actual shots. In the downloaded package, you will find a file named hout shot reference PDF, which is printable and contains, well, reference for all the shots. You will find the names, lengths, first and last frames of all the shots within the project. The first of those folders is labeled 0 auxiliary, 0 is there for sorting purposes, and contains the opening and closing shots. The next 4, A through D, are shots of frames of various proportions. A's are frames with 1:1 ratio, meaning they are square. B's are 3:1 ratio, the long frames with one side being 3 times the length of the other. C's are 4:3, the vintage format if you will, either for all the videos or some photo formats. D's are 16:9, the proportions of the HD format. The last folder with shots, the E, contains passages, camera pans from one frame to another to provide you with additional means of transitions. The 0 folder contains 2 opening sequences, 2 closing and 4 pre-openers, being short 5-second pre-rolls should you want to preface your actual opener with some cool introductory shots. A through D contain 10 shots each, while there are 5 E's, the passages. Hout provides extensive control over how your final show will look. You can change the colors, there is basic brightness, contrast and saturation control over your content. You can add and control vignette. There are 3 available Passport 2 styles, each in 2 flavors, making 6 in total. You can have titles and subtitles for your content, and some more. All the knob turning is done via the effects control panel of the global control layer in the control composition. Let's go over these controls. The first 4, global highlights, midtones and shadows color, and the global tint opacity, are responsible for the overall color look of your presentation. If you're familiar with After Effects' own Triton coloring tool, you'll know how the coloring is applied. Highlights mean the brightest areas of the rendered picture. Midtones refer to the mid-range, while shadows obviously apply to the darkest areas. Color pickers next to those depict values with which those areas are affected. Along with the 4th control, the tint opacity, these inflict relatively subtle effect, and I strongly encourage you to experiment with these settings to grasp the way they work. Please bear in mind that these controls affect the global look of your final video, not only your content. The next 3 controls, picture brightness, contrast and saturation, apply exclusively to the content of the frames, that is, your pictures or videos. Next in line are frame tint, color and intensity. These allow you to recolor the wooden picture frames independently from the global settings. Then we have the vignette settings: intensity, color and range. The color is applied via white mapping of the tint effect, resulting in that it will only darken the edges. Bright color will have little effect. Vignette also blurs the picture edges slightly. Coming next, the vibrance intensity is a combination of vibrance and curves effects, giving additional control of overall picture intensity, again globally. The edge softness is independent from the vignette and allows for additional edge blur control. Reflections intensity refers to glare showing in the frames as if the contents were behind glass. You can adjust the opacity of this effect here. Next 6 tick boxes give you the ability to add Passport 2's, additional frames within frames styling to your content. These come in 3 styles, each in 2 thickness variations. They can be turned on and off independently of each other, so you can mix styles. The last group of controls refer to main titles and subtitles. You can choose whether to have them, main titles and subtitles checkboxes, what color they should be, and the background's opacity and color. The title's contents are edited directly in the shot compositions, and so is their transform data. They are true 3D objects, so you can move, rotate and scale them as you see fit, including animation of those properties. As you type in the titles, you will surely want to resize the backgrounds. Their anchor points are conveniently positioned in appropriate corners, so resizing can be done quickly by dragging these control points. As you can see, all the controls in the global control layer are attached to an Illustrator file called Preset Sheet. This is Hout's way of arranging a resource of presets. Because of the way all the expressions throughout the whole project reference this particular layer, saving a preset cannot be done by, for example, duplicating this layer and renaming it. All the expressions would still refer to this layer. Therefore, each time you want to change your settings, you are going to do that manually, and the preset sheet is an attempt to make that task less tedious. The sheet contains 4 configurations, and this is how they are applied. While you are in the effects control panel, you pick the colors with the eyedropper like so, and type in the values displayed on the sheet. That's it. If you want to store your settings, you just save your After Effects project with a different file name. You can also edit the preset sheet, of course, you will need Illustrator for that. But I think just saving new AEPs is going to do better, since you can edit new sequences within a project, and they will of course display according to the global control settings. Let's take a look at the 2 example edits. The first is the 15 photo sequence. In the main composition we have the edited sequence with an additional element, a null called master holder. All the layers in this edit are parented to this null, and it itself has a wiggly motion and scaling applied, which you can control with the shakiness slider set to 25 as default. This is to simulate camera shake, as the music to which it was edited matches this mood. I chose Be Fun by Pink Zebra for this sequence. Also, the first pre-opener and last closer have animated blurriness and levels applied to smoothly enter the screen at the beginning and fade out at the end. This edit provides further example of how you can adjust the look of your presentation. The control composition has been set to last as long as the edit sequence, while the AE file with the clean hout has it set to a single frame so that its features can be animated too. And so, here the vignette range and intensity are animated to accompany camera shaking, giving a handheld, retro recording feel to the whole thing. The other example is the 30 photo edit. It has a different color scheme and a simple solid on top of the sequence, fading at the beginning and the end. The music for this is The Dream. Link to the music files, which you need to purchase separately should you want to use them, are provided in the description section on Hout's VideoHive page. This concludes the tutorial for Hout. I hope you find it useful and easy to use. Thank you for watching.